welcome to my home. My name is ShavaLangston, and this is a production feature for Endless Hope. Today I'll be preparing shepherd's pie, and the ingredients that's used for shepherd's pie is lean ground turkey, filet mignon, mixed vegetables, as well as Yukon, the petite small potatoes. The seasonings that we will incorporate will be yellow onions, red onions, kosher seasonings, which will be kosher salt. We will be using also garlic pepper, lemon pepper. We'll also incorporate a balsamic vinaigrette in the meat, as well as using bay leaves, butter, and Philadelphia cream cheese. Now let's begin. What I'm actually done thus far is already prepared the ground turkey. I've used the balsamic vinaigrette, I've used crushed pepper, green, red, and yellow pepper for the turkey, as well as the filet mignon. What I've also incorporated, when you're cooking, you normally have to, if you're a heavy seasoner, seasoning is the best. So you want to make sure that you invest in great seasonings, because that's actually how your food will turn out to be successful, and it will be delicious. But if you're one that just like just your basic lemon pepper or salt and pepper, then yeah, but it's not going to give you that kick that you really want. So as I start, I'm actually going to transition the turkey into this bowl. The turkey, like I said, was already prepared. I've already seasoned it. Now introducing the new ingredient. We've already added the turkey, the ground turkey. Now we're actually in the process of adding the filet mignon. So with the filet mignon, to prepare it, you actually, of course, you had to season it. And you keep it on low for approximately, I'll say an hour. And you would just consistently watch it boil, and you would add all of your vegetables, and you can actually add all of your vegetables, meaning your green onions, your bell pepper, whatever veggies or seasonings that you would like, but you really would want to add the balsamic vinegar in it at that time so it can lock in the flavor. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it. What we want to always do is make sure that the filet mignon is very tender, because we more than likely going to use our hands to shred it. Either you can also use pot roast. You don't necessarily have to use filet. You can use any type of beef, but filet is always the best. And it smells delicious. And it's always best to use the balsamic vinaigrette or whatever as a key ingredient. You can either add the balsamic vinaigrette in the turkey, or you can add it in the filet. But I actually added them in both because I love the taste of balsamic vinaigrette, and it gives you such flavor. So now I'm going to actually add the gravy from the filet, and it's going to give it a nice taste. So want to just get this in, stir it around, stir the filet and the ground turkey. We've poured the gravy, and now what we're doing is we're just stirring in the filet and the ground turkey. So at this time, we can add the Louisiana hot sauce to it. The Louisiana will not give it a hot taste and flavor. It will just actually have the flavors all blend together. Now we're mixing the vegetables into the filet mignon and the ground turkey. The ingredients that you can use, you can add to the vegetables, are garlic, kosher seasonings, meaning kosher salt. You can also use a kosher black pepper. And this is the time that you can also incorporate the bay leaves. Bay leaves will give it a different taste. It will give it more of a voila sort of taste. Okay, the next ingredient will be the Yukon potatoes. We will be adding the Yukon potatoes to the filet mignon, the ground turkey, and the mixed vegetables. And that will create the shepherd's pie, and that will make it complete. So, you would need a potato masher, as well as you can use almond milk. That's my preference, but you can use any milk. 2 ounces of almond milk. Also, all the ingredients will be listed at the end of the show. Okay? We're also going to use butter. As well as Philadelphia cream cheese, but let's mash it first. Okay? So you need to mash it so there could be some consistency, because you want to make sure that the mashed potatoes are mashed fine enough to go on top of the shepherd's pie, and so it will be easy when baking. It's really always good to leave the skin on the potatoes when boiling and with mashing. And you can also use the same process to make fresh homemade mashed potatoes for your family. Here's an excellent opportunity to add the kosher salt. I normally, personally, do not like to use salt, but when you're creating potatoes or cooking or preparing potatoes, you need the salt. Here's another opportunity for me to add in the Philadelphia cream cheese. If anyone had ever used and prepared with Philadelphia cream cheese, it is the best. It's my favorite. So you have to really just stir it and make it consistent. And the cream cheese is going to definitely give it a totally different flavor. And like I said, you can also use cream cheese and macaroni and cheese. It also just creates a totally different texture, and it also gives you a totally different taste. Now we've completed the Yukon potatoes. Now what we will be doing is adding the Yukon potatoes onto the filet mignon, the turkey, and the veggies. Oops. So this is really a hearty meal. And the potatoes, your potatoes will taste fantastic. You have added the Philadelphia cream cheese. You've added a little salt. You can also add some garlic salt or garlic powder, and that would give them that garlic taste. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually insert the shepherd pie in the oven. We have finally completed the shepherd's pie. Now what we have enclosed here, we have the filet mignon, the turkey, the mixed vegetables, as well as the Yukon potatoes. Dig in.